Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we're going to be doing minestrone soup. This is the third way that we are going to preserve minestrone soup. We have canned it, we have freeze-dried it, and today we are just going to plain freeze it. The recipe varies just a little bit depending on how we're going to preserve it. A couple of weeks ago, Jim and I were up at our cabin. I say our, it is not ours. We don't own it, we don't rent it. It has been a gift to us that a friend of our son's has allowed us to have unlimited access to this beautiful cabin. 10 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It's huge. It's like a ranch house. And it sits on quite a bit of property. And so we have access to that, and we have turned it into our bugging out place. But with gasoline prices so high these days, we are not going on any extended road trips, but we're just going to run over to the cabin. It's about, the way we drive and over dirt roads, it's a couple of hours, but it's not that far in actual miles. But one of the things that we have discovered as we have done a year's worth of cleaning up and getting it operational for us to be comfortable there, and you can view the videos that take us through the entire first days of getting there, cleaning everything. It was filled with mice, long stories, many videos. Those are over on our other channel, Trail Grazers. Now, we are not active on Trail Grazers anymore. We are not publishing any new videos for that channel, but it's still up. People still view it. And so you can see a year's worth of our adventures up at what we call the cabin. We were there a couple of weeks ago, and one of the troubling things that happened as we were cleaning the kitchen was that we discovered that the beautiful Viking range, probably 40 or 50 years old, that I was so excited about, has so much mouse damage that the ovens are not usable. But the top is. And so we have had to compensate for a few things in that kitchen. And one of the things is that we just like to come prepared with foods that are almost ready to eat. If we had to bug out, we're set up for doing that and just leaving here in a heartbeat. If our lives were threatened because of fire or flood, we could get there and have things. But when we go for a weekend of enjoyment, which is what we're doing now, we like to take foods that are very easy to prepare. The top of the Viking works. We have 4 burners and a griddle that work up there. And this time, 2 weeks ago when we went up there, we took one of our packages of frozen beef stew that we just released the video on. It was so delicious and so wonderful to have that frozen, and it's easy to thaw and easy to reheat. And so we're going to be concentrating on videos and in our regular lives on preparing foods that work with food storage that also make it very easy for us to transport up to the cabin and not have to have a whole day of cooking for a meal. Minestrone soup is one of those, so we will be taking that up with us when we go up very soon. So here we are, set and ready to go. The prep on this, it takes a little bit of time because you have a lot of veggies that you have to prepare. But minestrone soup is just delicious. I have the recipe for you. It is the recipe that we had posted a couple of years ago. I took that down, I've reworked it, and now it is minestrone soup 3 ways. It used to be 2 ways, but now it is 3 ways. And there are instructions for you to how to can it, and then how to adapt the recipe for freeze drying or for just regular freezing. So here we go. I've just put about a tablespoon of oil in the pan, and I'm now going to drop in the onions, which I chopped using my Vidalia. This is about 3 cups of onion. And also I'm going to put the garlic. This is garlic that we grew in our garden last season. And it says also to drop in the carrots and the celery, so we're going to do that. and a cup of tomato sauce. And this is our home canned tomato sauce. It is 4 years old. Still good. I have to move this a little bit so that I can see. So we are to leave this for about 5 minutes and just kind of let this simmer together. So we will be back. Next, we're going to add the seasonal vegetables that it calls for. And I have in here butternut squash. This is the last of our butternut that we grew last season. These are potatoes, and then these are green beans, and they are from our freeze-dried green beans right here. So I am going to be adding a little bit of water. Now they're whole like this. I don't want them that way, so I just broke them. So I'm going to just put all of those in. And stir. Minestrone has so many luscious vegetable ingredients. It's just a wonderful soup. Okay, here we go. Then 2 cans of tomatoes. These are petite diced. And 2 quarts of veggie broth. And this just dribbles out, so I give it some help. Let air in the back side while it's coming out the front side. So I just cut a bigger opening.
Yes. That's what I was going to suggest.
Bay leaves. And it calls for, we are doing not the canning recipe, we're adding the extras right now. And so I'm adding an extra cup of beans for 4 cups of beans. These are my home canned cannellini beans. I'm going to drain and rinse these and get those in. So we'll do that.
I'm ready.
All right, in these go. And also differing from the canning recipe is the fact that we're going to put 2 cups of pasta in. Now you can put whatever pasta in you want. Jim and I really like these little, it's called salad pasta on the label, but I know that the official name is something dilatini or something like that, but plenty of you out there will know and can put it in the comments so others will know and we can get the accurate name for those. Oh, it's just a loaded soup. So good. And while we were off camera, I already did put in the seasoning. So that's already in. And it was thyme, oregano, crushed pepper. So the last thing we need to do is to put in the lemon juice. This was a very juicy lemon. Now, I'm going to take a quick minute and check to be sure we have all of the ingredients in. And I did not put the 4 cups of water in, but I'm going to wait and see if it's going to need it. I put 1 cup of the water in to help with the first batch of veggies, but I think this looks like soup right now. So I'm gonna leave it alone, bring it to a simmer. I'll check the ingredients to be sure we have everything. And this is just a lid from a big frying pan I'm using. So we're going to let that simmer probably for 15 or 20 minutes until it is done, as if we were ready to eat it right out of this pot. And then we're going to let it cool, and we'll come back when it's done, and I'll show that to you. Then we'll give it some time to cool down, and then we will package it up for freezing. So we will see you in a little bit. Well, here it is. It has been simmering like that for about a half an hour. It took that long to get the carrots soft. They were the last ones to go soft. I'm going to turn it off now. And I can tell you I'm just a little bit disappointed in the color of the green beans, but they taste just fine. They have softened beautifully. Now, when we are doing this for freezing, or even for freeze drying if you have a freeze dryer, we do not need to add as much water as given in the recipe for canning. When we do canning, we need more liquid per solid content. And so I have only added 1 cup of extra water when I was doing the first round of vegetables, and the rest it's just the perfect consistency that we like. So I'm putting a note in the recipe to add water as desired when you are making the adjustments from the canning recipe. Now, the last thing that it calls for is some spinach. Calls for about 4 cups. I'm probably not going to get 4 cups in. I'm going to put about 3 handfuls in. And then we're just going to stir this in. The soup is plenty hot that it will wilt the spinach enough to where we can go ahead and leave the heat off and then let this cool. It really gives a beautiful color and texture addition to the soup. So we are now going to leave the lid off, let it cool for probably a couple of hours at least, and then we will be back to show you how we're going to prepare it for freezing. So we will see you then. We're back. It has been a couple of hours, maybe a little bit more. Jim and I grabbed a quick nap, and then he took off to the store, and look what he brought back. Some ditalini. Now check out the size really close, and then look in our soup bowl. Now look how big that has become as it cooled. I think it looks gorgeous, frankly. I've done our first test one, and we'll do some others in just a moment. But what I discovered after it had cooled was that it had thickened up quite a bit. So I did add an additional 2 cups of water, and this is about the consistency that we like. I'm looking for bay leaves. I've only been able to find 1 to pull out, but even if, oh, there's one, yay, woohoo! Even if we don't find them all, we will find them at some point. So we're going to be using our chamber vacuum sealer to get these in. And as I mentioned when we were doing the beef stew, we fold down the top about 1 inch to protect it so that it will not get gunk on it, so that it will seal properly. And we got that idea from one of our viewers. We just have the greatest community. Okay, so here we go. I'd like to do about 4 cups, which is about 1 quart, which is about what Jim and I will eat. Okay. Now I fold up that edge and inspect it. I see just a little bit here. All right, looks good. So we're going to bring it around here, and I'm going to put it in here just like this and pull up that little fastener. Push the clamp in and push the button. So the whole chamber, including inside the bag, is becoming a vacuum. And it's starting to boil a little bit. That is not uncommon. And now it's counting down to where it is going to let the atmospheric pressure back in, and the bag will hug the soup, just like that.
And if you get lost in space, your body will boil and explode.
And then I'm just going to put it here on the countertop and flatten it out. And we're going to dry these, we are going to freeze these flat. Now we will just repeat that process, and I'll come back when we're doing the last one. Last one done. So let's take it out, spread it out, and put it on our tray. Now we had this much left, which is just enough for me to have a little bite for lunch tomorrow. All right, we have a total of 6. Isn't this just great?
Yes.
Thank you, audience of 1.
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Okay, this is just great. One of the reasons that we just love these little packets of frozen foods is that when we go to the cabin, we can just drop them in our cooler and they act like ice for some of the other things. And of course, they are thawing at that point. We now have a little car refrigerator / freezer that things that we want to stay frozen can go in. But these are just great, these little packets. We have jars of minestrone in quarts, but because the road is so bumpy, it's a dirt road and it bumps all over the place, I don't want any glass breaking in my food box. So this is a much safer way to travel up to the cabin with our meals. And also they are great for food storage. And also because we rotate through, we have a recipe-based food storage. And so we eat what we store and we store what we eat. If we need to have a quick meal, we can just go out on our food storage, grab one of these from the freezer, let it thaw for a bit, and heat it up, and there's dinner. So thank you so much for being with us. We hope you enjoyed this last of our minestrone series. And don't forget, the recipe will be linked below. It's just on our website under the recipe tab. The tabs up at top, that's where our Amazon store is as well. So just click on that recipe tab. I'll give you the link, but it will be right in that list of recipes. So we will see you very soon for more exciting videos.